Hello, my name's Tommy, Tommy Ho, and this is my little video in the Indigenous class, my little intro video. Um, so first and foremost, I guess to introduce myself is that I'm Vietnamese Canadian. I live in Windsor, Ontario, that resides on the traditional lands of the three Fire Confederacy, Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Punanomi people. I acknowledge that I'm a guest on this land, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to live here my entire life and to learn and have my family here as well. So thank you. Um, when I think of this question, who claims me or who claims you, I think of my identity and the relationship that have shaped me to who I am. I'm claimed first by my family. My parents are immigrants, immigrated to Canada from Vietnam, escaping Vietnam for like communism, and their experience have taught me so tremendously throughout my entire life. The importance of being a hard worker, respect, and the importance of community. Also, resiliency. These values continue to guide who I am, both personally and professionally. Um, as a future educator, one of my pedagogy is that I want to put my students first. I believe that students learn best when they feel seen and valued. I want students' cultures and identity reflected in my classroom and not treated as an afterthought. So when I'm teaching lesson, when I'm in the classroom, I want you to look around, anybody to look around and see, oh, these are my students' work. This is what it looks like. Whether it's amazing, like Picasso, or is it, you know, that's important, right? It's that they're seen in the class. When it comes to my knowledge about the Indigenous world, be honest, it's very minimum. Grew up in Windsor my entire life. There was very little discussions about the Indigenous people and their culture in school, which is very unfortunate now thinking about it. Um, in school, to be honest, we were talked. The Indigenous people were talked about in history mainly, and giving dates and times of like when war happened and what the Indigenous people did to and how, during the fur trade. And that's pretty much it. Which is honestly such a shame that that happened. Um, and my only real exposure to this, only other exposure to learning about the Indigenous people were a few students that went to my grade school and high school. I believe one of them and was from the Mohawk Nation. I could be wrong. And um, he taught me about like some of the practices, right? Which now kind of forgot about it because it's been so long. Because to be honest, Indigenous students in my class did not stay long. They were there for maybe a year or two, and off they went. So, but that being said, I am learning, and so during one of my placement, I was really privileged to have some Indigenous students in my classroom, in my grade one class. That being said, I wanted to make them feel seen. I wanted to make them feel heard through one of my lessons. So therefore, I did some research. I found this book called The Sharing Circle and did some research about the story and how the practice of using a talking stick to and I presented in the class. Well, the students that were Indigenous um, were like, oh my God, like, I know this, I know this, I know about the sharing circle. And just seeing that their faces light up and seeing that they can recognize themselves in their practices in the lesson was very powerful and rewarding. That experience reinforced me how important it is to representation is even small, like even as small as reading a story, intentionally teaching choices can help students feel a sense of belonging, which is amazing. When I think about when I was a kid and somebody talked about Vietnamese culture, I'm like, holy crap! Like I didn't even know people knew about Vietnam, right? I guess moving on. One of my burning questions about this course is how I can continue on this. How can I continue to take my knowledge and apply it to the classroom? I want to be respectful and authentic as possible, and I also want to avoid tokenism and continue learning how to better support my Indigenous students in my future classroom. I am entering this course with a very open mind and a willingness to learn. I'm really excited to learn and honestly put on game about the Indigenous communities. So thank you for taking the time to listen. I look forward to learning throughout this course.